Welcome to Works TV, your hospitality and tourism career destination. Create the career you want. Contact us today.
Do you dream about living in the most beautiful places in the world? Well, it's time to stop dreaming, make it a reality. And did I mention you get paid for it? Just like Danielle, whose skills and experience has taken her to some of the most prestigious travel destinations in the world. It's true, take a look.
Hi, my name is Danielle Dubuc and I work here at Sapphire Freycinet as a guest service manager. I grew up in Montreal, Canada, Montreal, Quebec, Canada. Worked at a number of high-end resorts in Canada in the Rocky Mountains and at a beautiful Relayan chateau called the Wiccan in Tofino, British Columbia for about 4.5 years as a special events manager and sales coordinator there, and decided, based on my companion who is from Tasmania originally, we wanted to work for the best of the best while we moved to Australia for a couple of years, and Sapphire was the #1 choice. The idea is that we love to work in areas that people only get to see for a snapshot, so we enjoy the ability to live and work in beautiful places, and hospitality definitely facilitates that. I think guest service manager is a very broad term, but here at Sapphire it's everything from answering the phones to making bookings, helping guests with inquiries before they arrive, checking in, checking out, facilitating transfers as well as booking all activities, coordinating special occasions, helping someone propose. We're pretty much just the organizer bunnies. If you don't enjoy working with people from a guest perspective as well as from a team perspective, you probably wouldn't be ideal for the role. You definitely have to have a love for the service industry and ensuring that you're making every experience amazing for every guest, and just trying to go above and beyond in every interaction. The specific skills that I think you would need to excel in a role of guest service manager would be definitely to have people skills, so be able to communicate effectively. Organizational skills I think is very important. Like to be on your feet. It's a very active role, so we're always moving around, going from here to there. There is definitely a component in computers and operating systems, so we do have a management operations system that you would be trained up on, or vice versa, and a good competent understanding of the internet as well as Microsoft, so emailing and things like that is very important as well, because it is probably about 50 to 60% of our daily jobs. The courses that I would recommend to take would be just a bachelor degree in hospitality management or tourism, anything to kind of get you in the door. We do have a lot of people that have bachelors in business administration and other things like that, because it is an organizational role. Personally, I would love to eventually be a general manager of a hotel, but I guess that's most people who are in hospitality as a career. At the moment, being a guest service manager is giving me really good experience, and from my previous experience at other Relayan Chateau hotels, I think that hopefully one day I will accomplish that.
Pure Tasmania brings together some of the most unforgettable experiences, Australia's most breathtaking locations and finest accommodations Tasmania has to offer. Pure Tasmania are now hiring for the upcoming summer season, and there are hundreds of hospitality jobs on offer. So there's never been a better time to create the career you want. To take the next step, speak with a Works TV consultant now. Call 1300 542 315 or go to works.tv and simply submit your details.
Well, with behavior-based interview questions, what employers are doing is they're looking at past behavior to get a predictor of future behavior. Let's say they ask, can you give me an example of a time where you took initiative to solve a problem? They want to hear a story about where you took initiative. And you need to organize that using the STAR technique, where you can talk about situation, task, action, and result. What I see a lot of students tend to do is they'll tell us a great story and forget the results. That's like watching a great movie and not seeing the ending of it.
Well, the STAR technique helps organize their thoughts. Behavioral interviewing is telling a story. You're telling us a story, you're setting up the situation so we understand exactly what you're doing. You know, you set the frame, you set the picture for us in our minds. The task is, you know, what was the problem, what was the issue, set that piece up. And I want to know what you did, not my manager did this or we did this. I want to hear a lot of what did you specifically do? And the results, how did it end? It's like telling a joke and not giving the punchline if you don't add the results in there.
When they get those behavioral questions, take it back to a specific example, explain what they did, set it up, give the details, and include a lot of names, dates, times, numbers, and places. The more details you can give, it really helps the employer understand the depth and breadth of what you accomplished. Oftentimes if a student is giving examples that say, we did this and we did that when they're talking about a committee, I will stop them and say, that's great that your committee did that, but what specifically did you do? And what I find oftentimes that they didn't do anything.
You really want to kind of go through your resume, go through even go through the last couple of months of emails that you've had from student organizations, from your work, from different classes, and really get into the detailed, 1 or 2 or 3 detailed stories that you can tell, that you can actually know exactly what happened, exactly what the concept was, who was in the meeting, what the real problems were, what the detailed actions were, and not only what you did, but some of the options that you considered or that group considered before making the final decision, and then details in terms of what the result was.
Well, David, can you tell me about a time where you set a goal and you thought you did everything possible to achieve that goal but still fell short?
Sure. Actually, I had a similar experience to that during my internship during the summer of 2010 with UBS Investment Bank. I was working in their global healthcare group, and really one of the first type of tasks that we had was working with one of our major clients on a merger model. So we were doing a pitch for them and coming up with a hypothetical merger situation. And my task was to create the merger model and come up with the analysis so that we could show them our numbers so that it made sense. So one of my senior associates came to me and said, David, you know, this is your task. Go ahead with it. We're not going to help you out. Do your very best, and we'll come to you at the end of the day. So I literally spent the next, I would say, 12 hours of that day working at a computer on my merger model, which I thought, man, you know, I've spent 12 hours. It's going to be perfect. There's nothing wrong with this. And when I finally presented my model saying, you know, we've got accretion here, we're going to make money off of this deal, the client's going to love it, the very first thing they did once I printed it out was take a red pen and cross an X all the way through it. And they said, you did absolutely everything wrong that we were looking for. And although you spent 12 hours, we're now going to have to go and redo this. So me, you know, this is my first week as an intern, sitting there thinking, wow, I spent way more time than any full-time person would actually spend on this. And I did it all wrong. How is this possible? I'm not going to get a job at all. And now all my dreams of doing investment banking are ruined from this one engagement. And what I later realized was the fact that, you know, when you come in, and this is what they told me at the end of the summer once I finally received.
Well, we've had 47 BC Jobs Fairs in 2012, 2013. In fact, they were so popular at the end of 2012, we decided to extend it into 2013, and we've heard that there's been triple the attendance in 2013, so that's great.
At these job fairs, the job seekers have the opportunity to network with the exhibitors, fill out application forms, drop off their resumes. Some have been fortunate enough to acquire interviews on the spot as well as be hired on the spot.
I think just meeting seeing the faces of people who are interested in our jobs rather than just receiving their resumes. They're coming here in person. We're able to have a personal conversation with them about the jobs, what their expectations are, you know, and also what our expectations are. So I think it's been mutually beneficial.
I think the message out there is, you know, if you want to get a good job, you really need to pursue some form of post-secondary education, because we know that over 3/4, perhaps 80% of those jobs will require some sort of post-secondary education.
We've had lots and lots of people come in. A lot of them are interested with Work BC. They want to know what we can provide for them. They're also so surprised and impressed that it's free of charge for everybody. The energy in here is always really good too. Everyone's really positive and just looking to interact and network with as many people as possible.
In need of of a new job? Looking for a great internship? Well, don't be another unemployment statistic. Make plans to attend the Philadelphia STEM Career Job Fair, Saturday, February 18th at the Pennsylvania Convention Center. It's free. You'll meet high-level recruiters from Fortune 500 companies looking to hire qualified candidates, college students, and STEM professionals. On-site interviews. Bring your resume. That's Saturday, February 18th, the free STEM Career Job Fair at the Pennsylvania Convention Center, 10 to 4 p.m. Call 888-402-3533.
Hello, my name is Brad Anderson. Here at Microsoft, I oversee the work that we do on Windows Server and System Center. And what I want to talk to you about today is the shift that we're seeing in the market as we move past virtualization into cloud computing, and how we want to work together as you advance your organization's cloud capabilities and how you advance your personal careers. And we are seeing a significant shift. We're seeing organizations begin to stand up Hyper-V at rates and in numbers that we've never seen before. And in fact, with the release of Windows Server 2012, we saw the amount of interest just increase at an incredible rate. What we are seeing is Hyper-V just continues to grow its market share, literally about a point every single quarter of market share, while VMware, its market share is in decline. And as you think about your personal careers and as you think about your corporate strategy, you want to partner where there's the growth, and you want to partner with the organization that is growing. You know, it's interesting, there are a number of countries around the world where Hyper-V now has a higher market share than VMware. We're seeing year over year 15, 20-point swings in market share. And I think the thing that really is important as you think about what your cloud strategy is, you really look forward, you want to partner with an organization that is investing in public, private, and hosted clouds, and is promising and delivering on consistency across those clouds so that you're not locked into any one of them. And I think that's the thing that separates Microsoft more than anything. We've spent more than $15 billion in the last several years building out our data centers, building out Azure, and all the services that we run on top of Azure. And here's where it gets really interesting. That is the most interesting learning environment that you can even imagine. And you better believe that in that kind of environment where you've got hundreds of thousands of servers, you learn like crazy, because you have to learn, you have to automate, you have to be efficient, you have to drive out costs in order to survive. And what we're doing is we're taking that learning that we get every single day, and then we drive that through Windows Server and System Center for you to run in your data centers. So you get the full benefit of what we learn every day in Azure in your data centers. You get that same economical model, and you get that same agility. And again, here's another place where it gets really interesting. Because we are delivering these consistency across clouds, you literally have got a consistent set of capabilities for developers and for IT professionals across public, hosted, and private cloud. And the reason why that's so important is you're not locked in. You can be running a virtual machine in a public cloud today, and you can move that to the private cloud this afternoon, or vice versa. You can do your dev tests in the public cloud, but deploy in the private cloud without having to change any code, and without having to change the tools and processes that you use as an IT professional. So that's what differentiates us, and I think that's the kind of skills and knowledge that as you are participating in the strategy and the definition of your organization's cloud vision and cloud capabilities, you want to be at the table with that kind of knowledge and that kind of a view that says, listen, as we think about our cloud strategy, we're going to be using multiple clouds. We should do it in a way that is consistent and a way that provides us that friction-free movement and consistency across clouds. And that's, partnering with Microsoft.